Hi and welcome to another tutorial from the Golden Ribbon. Today we're looking at the fire animation tutorial in Blender 2.91. Cool, so let's get straight into this tutorial. Just gonna go ahead and show you the canvas here. Got a nice gradient canvas right here. We don't need any parenting for this tutorial, so we're just gonna go straight into it. First up, we're going to go ahead and hit Shift and A, or you can go to add in the top right here, and we're going to add ourselves a circle. No need for any vertice change. 32 is actually very good for this. So we're just going to bring it up ahead on the Z axis a bit, you know, and keep in mind that I always press 7 when I start my canvas and set the camera to that too. Let me just pan out and show you. I prefer when the Y is on the vertical and X is on the horizontal, so keep this in mind. And I've already deleted the default cube and such. So let's move this in the middle, and this circle is going to make the basis for our file. So first up, we're going to press tab, and tab is going to carry us into edit mode, or you can press edit mode in the top left up here. We're going to select this node at the bottom, this vertice, and we're going to go ahead and press Shift and S to go into our snap menu. And we want to select from our snap menu cursor to active, and that's the active node or vertice that we selected. And once that's selected, we're just going to go ahead and press tab, come out of that, and we want to go to object, set origin, and origin to 3D cursor. So that's where we've just put the 3D cursor a while ago. Next, we want to go ahead and go to add modifier. We're going to go to simple deform, and we're going to go to bend. And next we're going to hit on the bed, we're going to go to the axis and hit Z, and we see that we've got this classic teardrop. I also use this technique in the pop menu tutorial, and it's a good technique to get this shape. I'm going to need it for this tutorial also. We can play about also with the angle to get the ideal teardrop, but this is okay for now. Then we're going to move to the right, and we're going to select this drop down menu right here. I'm going to select apply, so that applies the deform. So we have our deform nice right here. Cool. Next we're just going to go ahead and press A, go into tab edit mode by pressing tab, press A on our keyboard to select all vertices, and press F to make a face. Good. Now that we have our face, we're just going to go ahead and head over to our vertex option, our vertex tab right here, and this controls all options that we can do with vertices with our vertex. And we're going to go to vertex group, and we're just going to go ahead and press tab once more with everything selected, press add, and I'm going to rename this to fire. Cool. And then we're going to assign all of the selected vertices to this vertex group. So now if we deselect it and reselect it, we can see that indeed the group controls the selection of all of these vertices, and we're going to need that for later on. Cool. For the next part now, or for the next step really, for the next part now, we're going to go over to this small discrete arrow right here. We're just going to drag out, and that will give us some options here. We've got item, tools, view, and AN. We're going to stick to item. Good. And we're going to see things that says mean bevel weight and mean crease and mean bevel weight up here too. What we're going to do is that instead of selecting all of these vertices, we're just going to select one, and we'll see a new option come up that says vertex weights. Now if you don't have a vertex group, you're not going to see this vertex weights option come up. So we're going to use this to control the way that our modifier is going to interact with this vertex group. Cool. So right now the weight is 1, where 1 represents full control and 0 represents no control. So the modifier will not be able to control, will not be able to edit or influence rather the vertex that has 0, but the vertex that has 1, it has full control over. So what we want is the top to be 1 and the bottom vertices to be lower. So we're just going to start at 1 here, and these ones at the top, let's just zoom in. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to change these to 0.95. Good. And then I'm going to select this right here to paste the weight, this same weight that we've just typed across both the vertices. Or else if we don't do that, it will only paste it on one. And we're just going to go down and change the vertex weight in an even manner by points of 0.5. So we got 1, 0.95. Good. So I'm going to move on to 0.9 again, and then down here I'm going to go to 0.85, and just going down each one of these 0.8 and apply. Let's put this as 0.82 and apply. And I'm going to go to 0.75, apply. Just carrying it down by increments of 5, and this is important because this is what's going to allow us to have 65 R 0.6, allow our modifier to edit this raindrop shape so that we can get a fire effect, so that the bottom is not as moved by the modifier as the top is. So I'm going to go ahead and go 0.5 and apply. I'm going to go to 0.45, apply, 0.45 again, apply, and at the bottom 3 we're going to use 0.4. Cool. So now that this is done, good, and we have 1 at the top and 0.4 at the bottom, I think this is about right. I use increments of 5. You may use a different value based on how much vertices you have and also the way you want your fire to interact, but this one works for me. Then we're going to go over to the modifier tab and we're going to select our wave modifier. Cool. So when we select our wave modifier, it's moving, but it's moving up and down, and we don't really want the up and down movement. We want it to move left to right. So what we're going to do, we're going to press R and Y, and we're going to press 90. So that's 90 on your keyboard. Then we're going to hit Control and A, and that's going to allow us to apply this rotation. Good. So now the rotation is applied. If we go and press R, Y, -90 to put it back to the correct orientation, we see that the wave modifier is interacting with the fire the way we want it to. It's moving from left to right. And this is what we want. So for the next step now, we're going to go over to our modifier tab. I'm going to select vertex group and select fire. And when we do that, we see that it's moving a lot more like a fire now. The bottom's still moving a lot, but we're going to make some edits to help that. So let's move on to this. Let's give this a fire color because the white doesn't quite cut it. So let's give it a red. Awesome. Then we're going to go to this modifier and we're going to increase the width a little bit and decrease the height, and we've gotten this nice flame here. Cool. For the last part, we're just going to add an empty so that the wave starts at the point that we want the wave to start. So I'm going to go to empty, sphere, scale down, and we're going to go into select our flame. I'm going to go into the wave modifier starting point, and we're going to hit this dropper tool at the object and select the empty. Cool. And we select this empty now. Okay, making sure that you can see. So start menu, empty down here, we're selecting the empty. Let me just do it one more time. Cool. Just in case my face is in the way. Okay, and with that now, the wave is going to start from the bottom, giving us a more fiery-like effect. The last thing we need to do is duplicate the flame, scale it in, and give this duplicate with Shift D. I'm going to give this a different color now. So let's use an orange. Yeah, let's use an orange and bring this to the front. And there we have it. Flame or fire animation. And you can always edit the modifier to get more radical effects with your flame. So if you enjoyed the tutorial, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. I'll be happy to answer them. Once this is my in my capability to answer them. I'm still learning myself, so I'm happy for any advice or criticism that you have, about the tutorial. So until I see you again with another tutorial, get up and design a new dawn. Later.